I randomly decided to sign up for a race this weekend. Good morning! Welcome to my channel and actually my very first YouTube video. I've been wanting to do this for so long, so I'm very excited that we are finally here. Over the last few months, I've been doing a lot of self-reflection because I think I made it to my peak burnout and decided that I had to make a lot of life changes. So I decided, why not sign up for a race with pretty much no training and start a YouTube channel. So here we are. When I talk about my current workout split, I do 3 different forms of movement, which is very much inspired by the hybrid athlete movement that's been going on for a few years now. My first form of movement is running, of course, and then doing lifting. No particular style of lifting, I think more of like a strength-based lifting style, and then also doing yoga. So I think the hybrid movement is really cool, and when I think of being a hybrid athlete or training in a hybrid way, it just means that you have a couple different forms of movement, and I've found for me that I'm able to stick with it a lot longer and a lot more with ease and just have more fun with it in general. So for running was probably like my first form of working out. Growing up, running was a big outlet for me. I played soccer year round. I did a little bit of volleyball, but for me, running was really like my outlet. Like I vividly remember growing up and there was this really steep hill. Like it was insane. It was like basically straight up next to my dad's house, and I would just sprint up and down that hill when I was just going through it, and I would always feel so much better. So running was definitely more of like a mental wellness type of outlet. Of course, when I was younger, I didn't realize that's what it was, but now as an adult, I'm so appreciative for that form of movement that I had. And then halfway through high school, when I started dating my current husband, he was into powerlifting, and all of his buddies were into powerlifting, so naturally I got into powerlifting. That was the first kind of introduction I had into lifting weights. I loved powerlifting so much. It was really fun for me because I had something to train for, you know, hitting a new weight, or, you know, just pretty much that's the point. You just get stronger and stronger. And so that was really fun. About halfway through college, I stopped powerlifting because my body just wasn't feeling very good. And that's actually when I was introduced to yoga as well. So powerlifting just wasn't really feeling good in my body. And so that's when I transitioned to working out. I wouldn't even say it was like for bikini competitions or anything like that, because I didn't have a desire to compete in that way, but I definitely trained to look a certain way, and I found that I was never really consistent with that. So that became like a very prominent theme for me, was figuring out that if my motivation to work out is to look a certain way, I'm not gonna stick with it. And that was a hard realization. And then the yoga side of things, my senior year, I took a random gen ed that was yoga, and I got really close with my yoga instructor, and I just really got into it because, like I said, I was training a lot, I was lifting a lot. So A, yoga made my body feel really good, and B, mentally it just helped me chill out because I took on a lot in college, and so it was just a great outlet for me. So I graduated from college, I worked for a while, I was pretty spotty with lifting, and then I moved from Pennsylvania to Texas. And when that happened, I decided to save up and get my yoga instructor certification. So I do have my 200-hour, and I love creating classes. I just love doing creative vinyasa, throwing in a lot of primal movements, all of that fun stuff. So that's how I figured out those were the 3 forms of movement that I wanted to become like my hybrid. And that's not to say in the future that maybe I'll try different things, you know, maybe I'll try a triathlon, maybe I'll try high rocks or something like that. But as of right now, my three forms of movement are lifting, running, and doing yoga. So I'm really excited to share those things. So if you like those things, then hopefully you're in the best place. You can join me on this journey because I am very, very new into this. So I usually try to run 4 times a week, lift 3 times a week, and do yoga 3 times a week. So that's my current split. And I usually like to get my workout in before work. So I work a 9 to 5, but I work East Coast hours. So I log on at 7:30 and I'm off at 4:30 p.m. And I tried working out in the afternoon, but it just doesn't seem to work for me. I seem to perform a lot better when I wake up and get it out in the morning. I think it's really just like I feel good about the day then too, knowing that I got done what I needed to for myself first before then giving to other people. So that's my current workout split. Tell me what your current favorite types of working out is. I mean, I have a couple girlfriends who are like so into Pilates or so into like walking and Pilates, like that's their form of hybrid. And I just find it really cool to see what forms of movement that not only make people feel good, but they can stay consistent with because they're actually enjoying it and actually having fun. All right, I just wrapped up work for the day and for the week, which is super exciting. I wanted to spend this time kind of getting everything together for tomorrow morning. Tomorrow is race day. The race starts at 8. We'll probably get there around 6. So you need to be there by 7:30, but there's not gonna be parking at 7:30. So I'm thinking that 6 is like a safe time to arrive. So the things that I'm prepping for tomorrow morning will be doing a scoop of electrolytes. I love these watermelon raw electrolytes. And then I also am obsessed with this flavor for fuel, the orange. I'm probably going to do 1 scoop of each into a cup with just a little bit of water. I have a really sensitive stomach, so I don't want too much water like sloshing around up there. But I'll probably have those an hour before the race or maybe an hour and a half before the race. So I might drink them on the way there. I'm going to have, I grabbed this. I'm not a big oatmeal person, but I know it's a super popular pre-race meal. So I thought that this would suffice. This is a strawberries. I don't think it's gonna focus here. But it's just strawberries and cream, HEB little things. So I'll have this 2 hours before the race. So I'll eat that before I leave to go to the race. And then tonight I'm actually having, again, it's such like a classic typical meal, but I used to do this before every single soccer game as well. The night before we would always have spaghetti, so I feel like it feels very homey and very typical to have some spaghetti and meatballs the night before the race. And today I've been eating a lot of carbs as well. Things that I'm packing with me for the race, I'm going to bring my energy chews. I love these. I'm probably going to have maybe like 15 minutes before the race. I'll probably have half of this. I'm debating having the whole thing. I'm not really sure, but I'm gonna have half and then carry the other half with me in my belt. The other things I will be carrying in my belt are these salt sticks. I love this flavor as well. And then the other thing that I'm bringing with me is this BPN Go Gel. I haven't taken this before, so I'm not sure how it'll do on my stomach, but I'm hoping for the best. This might seem like total overkill for just a 5K, but I have learned throughout just like the last couple of weeks of running that just adding in something as simple as these energy chews made all the difference for me. I have funky blood sugar problems and also super low blood pressure, to the point where when I was at the doctor, they asked if I felt okay, and I was like, yeah, I feel perfectly fine. I guess that's just my normal. So being overly carved up and having too many electrolytes in my system, I feel like is not a bad thing for me. It's really helped my performance and just helped me be able to get through longer runs. The longest run I've done without stopping is 2 miles. So tomorrow I'm just hoping for the best. I do want to talk about race goals. Since this is my first race and obviously I haven't been training for it, my #1 goal is to just not stop running. Like just keep running the whole time no matter how hard it gets. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do. If I'm feeling really good, I don't want to push myself on the first mile. I feel like I could comfortably run a 10-minute pace for each mile. So I'm going to start with 10-minute mile in the first mile, and then if I'm feeling really good, maybe drop it down 5 seconds, like in 9:55. And then if I can hold it there, awesome. If I can go a little faster, even better. But I'm going to try to hold back until the last like quarter mile. And then that quarter mile, I'm just going to push myself really, really hard. Depending on how I'm feeling, I might not push really hard until like, I don't know, 0.15 miles is left. Or maybe even at like 0.2 that's left. Maybe I'll just do that in like a dead sprint, whatever a sprint will look like during a race. So those are my race goals. That's how I'm going to fuel up. I'm getting super excited. I definitely need to get a lot of sleep tonight. I don't know what's been going on, but I just have not been sleeping very well. So I'm probably going to actually sleep in the guest room tonight, just so I have like the space to myself. I don't have to share it with the dog and the husband and all of that stuff. So just having my own space. So I am going to go do a little restorative yoga flow. Nothing too intense, really just moving with whatever feels good in my body. So I'll probably film that. And then I'm going to make my spaghetti and meatballs, have some sleepy tea, and yeah, and then it'll be race morning. Good morning. It is the morning of race day. I'm super excited. I just put on spandex shorts because it's a shorter run, so I feel like I don't need anything too crazy. And then just like a sports bra. I have a black tank top on right now. I don't know if I'm gonna wear my t-shirt that they gave us or not to race in. But I'm just making my oatmeal. It is 5:24. We'll probably head out around 5:45. So the other thing I'm going to do is put on this chafing butter. Super important for me because naturally my legs they just rub together every time. I feel like this is a common thing. So I'm gonna put this on, have my breakfast, have my let's see, my drink that I made yesterday. I'm just putting everything into my belt and then we'll be good to go. It is 2 days, yeah, 2 days after my 5K. First things first, it was so much fun. Secondly, I did not use pretty much any of the fueling items that I brought with me. I had a couple of my energy chews, I think 5, so not even a full serving before I went out, and then I just had water at the halfway point. So I definitely way overdid on that side, but I'd rather have more than not have enough and just like pass out mid-race. So yeah, so it was so much fun. The energy was amazing. And I honestly did not hit either one of my goals, okay? I definitely did not hit a 10-minute mile. And I did stop one time for a short little walk. I did not expect this race to be so hilly. I live in Texas, right? So my neighborhood completely flat. Sometimes I'll train at a track completely flat. Even most of the parks around here, pretty flat, okay? I was not expecting the hills. They kicked my butt. So I was actually very proud of myself for only stopping once. I made some friends and my finish time was 32:58 or something like that. I'll put the official results up here from the race timer. Obviously my Garmin was slightly longer than that because again, I'm not used to all of this. So stopping my watch was not first of mine. It was, oh my gosh, I need water and I need to sit down and catch my breath and take these dang shoes off because I'm so stinking hot. Speaking of weather, It was actually beautiful outside. It was about 86 degrees, slightly humid. I didn't check the humidity, but we had overcast, which makes all the difference. So it was pretty good race conditions. I was super stoked about that. So overall, I'm still really proud of myself, even though I didn't hit either of my race goals. But it gives me motivation for when I do another one. I know that a 5K probably doesn't seem like a lot to most runners, people who run all the time, right? It's 3.2 miles, but that 5K felt like my first marathon. Okay, I have not run in such a long time. I did minimal training, which probably was not the smartest thing to do. My max heart rate was 202, which I know is not good, and I know that's because I was not training. So hopefully my heart rate improves over time when I actually start training for different races. So if you're on the edge about signing up for a race, just do it. It was so much fun. It gets you in the groove. It motivates you because you always want to get a better time or feel better during the race. There's just so many metrics that you can go for that'll make you feel really good. So yeah, so that's everything. I guess I'll use this as my closing. Thank you so much for watching my very first YouTube video. Subscribe to the channel if you would like. If you're in the middle of starting to work out, maybe starting to run, maybe starting to lift, maybe you like yoga, any of the things, comment down below where you are on your fitness journey. How do you train? Do you love it? Are you ready to switch? How do you feel about the whole hybrid athlete kind of movement? I personally love it, but I know there's a lot of mixed reviews out there. So anyways, I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Bye!